Hey guys, subscribe for daily knife content. And if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and welcome to episode 91 of The Knife Guy. If you are new to my channel or you just came out of some weird corner of the internet, I'm a knife guy, knife user, knife collector, knife enjoyer of many sorts. We all go down our own unique paths in this super crazy, weird EDC and knife-related world. And, those paths are our own, but oftentimes those paths intersect. And we experience a lot of the same stuff. And generally, what I talk about on The Knife Guy is that stuff. But today is going to be a little bit different. A couple of things you guys are going to notice is, number one, here lately I've had a guest on the show, and I'm not doing that today. We'll get to that here in a sec. Number two, everything that's laid out on the table is stuff that you've already seen and that is mine. And typically, Knife Guy has newer stuff or sometimes stuff you haven't seen. So here's why. Literally just a couple of hours ago, I found out that I have COVID-19 or coronavirus. I did not know that. This morning, I got up at 5 in the morning to record a bunch of stuff and just keep myself busy. I knew that I was going to get tested today because I've been feeling a little bit under the weather. And my brother had called me last night, who was also feeling under the weather and who had spent the weekends watching the Kansas basketball game and the Super Bowl with us. He said, hey, I just lost my taste and smell, so I'm going to go get tested. You probably should too. So I was like, okay. So I got up this morning thinking, I still don't really think I have it because I've been feeling kind of under the weather for 3 or 4 days. It hasn't been that bad. I've had a little bit of a headache and some mild congestion, which is honestly still how I feel. It hasn't gotten worse than that. And and obviously a tiny little bit of a cough. But anyways, so I finally go up there and get tested, and they're like, "Yep, you've got it." So okay, so my wife and kids, they went to her mom's house, and I'm here now by myself, which is why I'm not doing this show with a guest because it feels weird. And why I have only my stuff out here. Since I found out, and fortunately, because of the videos I decided to record this week, it's funny because the videos yesterday, you can tell it's me not knowing yet, and actually this afternoon, the video you guys will get about 2 p.m. Central, I didn't know for that video either, because this is the last video I'm recording for the weekend, but I scheduled the other one for later in the afternoon today. So, I'm not touching anybody else's stuff. And even considering that, if your knife was scheduled to come back next week, it's going to be a full 14 days at least before I mail anything out again, just to be safe. But my hands are only going to touch my stuff for the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to have to find a way to create additional content without touching everybody's stuff. But that's why I record 30 to 40 videos in advance. That's why I do that. Especially with the COVID situation going on right now, because if I didn't do that, I mean, you guys, there'd just be a whole blank week with no content. So, there's plenty to fill up the time. There's plenty of other topics I can discuss, obviously I made it work this weekend, and I'm going to make it work next weekend too, because that'll be about the end of it. But, so this is kind of a weird episode of The Knife Guy. And by the way, if you're wondering, am I worried about it? No. Should you be worried about me? No, I really don't think so. Now, that's not to downplay other people's experience with this, because it's obviously been serious. Some people have greatly suffered from it. And by the way, also, I don't want any political discussion in my comment section. And I mean that. I will remove it and remove you if you insist on it. So, don't do it. There's better places for that. You're not going to get anything accomplished here. This is a non-political channel. I like to just discuss knives. But I factually, biologically have COVID-19. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what I've experienced so far. And I guess what I've done so far to just keep because, a big part of this, right? No matter who you are, even if you're like me and you're glass half full most of the time, I'd be lying if I told you guys initially there wasn't a part of me that was like, oh, crap, that's kind of scary. Yeah, definitely. It doesn't matter who you are. It is a little bit. I think we all know somebody who's at least had it fairly rough and, in some situations much worse than that. So, the idea with me was, well, I'm just going to stay busy. I think part of my subconscious fear that I did have it this morning is what got me up at 5. I did 2 videos between 5 and 7 a.m. Called and did my video conference with the doctor at about 10. Made some breakfast, did some other stuff in between. Laundry, things like that. And then I finally went in and did the test at about 10:45. And they, like I said, they have the same day testing there and results, which is great because I wasn't about to wait 3 to 5 days. No thanks. And they said, yep, you've got it. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go keep myself busy. So I recorded my third video of the day, and then now, as of, let's see, right now it's about, you guys are watching this around 9 or 10 a.m. if you're watching at the time that it uploads, but it's about 2 o'clock p.m. my time. On Thursday is when I'm recording this. So, by the time you're seeing it, I may well be fully recovered, because if I didn't say so already, this is day 4 for me. So Friday will be 5, Saturday will be 6, those are apparently supposed to be the worst days, and then Sunday will be 7. So ideally I'll be recovering by then. Which sounds funny to say right now because I haven't experienced much. Honestly, the worst of it was a pretty powerful headache, some congestion, a minor cough that's obviously something I can control. I cough maybe once an hour, once every 2 hours. And I had a fever go to 99.5 last night. But I woke up this morning, nothing, no fever, no anything, just a runny nose. That's all I've experienced today is literally just a runny nose. And my doctor said, you know, sometimes that's the case. Some people just don't experience very much. Some people, it doesn't hit them till way later, right? It's different for every person. So I'm feeling pretty positive about it. I've got some good friends, both in my personal life and here in the knife community. Not that those two things don't overlap periodically, but everybody's being very positive. And honestly, the part of this that sucks the most, it's not fear of something happening. It's the fact that my wife and kids aren't here. I can't be around them for like 7 or 8 days. That sucks. You know, they're safe over at her mom's house, but it's just like, that sucks. You know, it's just a bummer. I like seeing my kids at the end of the day when they come home from school. I like hanging out with my wife, right? We kind of have a routine. They get home and we clean and cook dinner and we all have dinner together, and we've done that, you know, the entirety of the time that we've been a family. So it just sucks. And it's just me. Now it's just going to be me sitting at the dinner table with a sandwich. The first thing I did when I got home is I immediately cleaned everything. I guess I should be flipping these. I immediately went around. And I don't mean like my house is dirty, but if you have kids or if you're just like me, nothing is ever perfectly clean, right? There's a sock on the floor somewhere. There's a bag of chips left open on the edge of the dining room table, or sometimes on the coffee table in the living room, right? The bathroom, sometimes there's a towel on the floor, right? I cleaned everything, cleaned every surface, partially just to keep the house clean, and partially just to keep myself busy, keep my mind occupied. Cleaned everything, ran the little robot thing, the little thing you turn on and it cleans the floor. Did that, cleaned the bathrooms, everything, did some laundry. This afternoon, after I'm done with this video, I'm actually going to clean the basement, which is the other, the downstairs living room and the other room that's attached to it. And maybe even down here in the studio, which is the sort of secret storage area that's attached to my basement. Down here, I'm realizing this place could be cleaned out, and what better time to do it, right? So yeah, I really don't want to sit on the couch and do nothing. I really don't want... honestly, I might play some video games. And potentially, if I can figure out how to do it, I might stream something just for your entertainment. I'm not promising anything, but that's run through my mind, just streaming something just for fun while I'm stuck here. But no, I have no urge to just sit down and do nothing. If I'm not recording or doing something on the channel, I want to be cleaning. I want to be, and I want to have music on. Honestly, I feel like that's the key. If you have experienced this, maybe you had a similar thought. If you haven't yet, and at some point in the future, if you do get it, I'm not going to pretend that I can't give you any real medical advice. But what I can tell you has helped me since I found out, which wasn't that long ago. Like I said, it's just a couple hours ago. What's kept me feeling positive is just doing something. It also helps that I really don't seem to have any symptoms so far. And truthfully, that my subconscious is telling me legitimately that everything's fine. That does help. But seriously, I mean, I think the worst thing I could do right now is sit and do nothing. The funny thing is it's really going to mess up my whole EDC thing. Not just with content, because I don't want to touch other people's knives, but with the stuff I'm carrying. My world, my EDC world, was already limited, being somebody who works from home. What I used my knives for was limited to in my house, outside, just outside and around the house, and then periodically when I would leave and go somewhere, if a knife task came about, that's it. Now it's inside. If you don't know, right now in Kansas, it's like 10 degrees. It's been that way for a while. There's a nasty, just like ever-present winter iciness that's here right now. My dogs, generally, if I get bored, I go outside and I play with my dogs in the backyard. We have fully fenced-in backyard. A lot of people were thinking, oh my God, you keep your dogs outside and it's 10 degrees? We built them a completely like wind and airproof doghouse. Built it. Ran electricity out to it so they have heat out there. I don't think it gets colder than about 50 degrees. You know, we don't want to make it too warm because then the dogs won't stay in there. We have a Lab and Border Collie mix, and we've got an Australian Shepherd mix. So if we crank it up to 65 degrees, they definitely won't. It's too hot for them, right? We keep it somewhere around 50. Yeah, so they're fine. Their water doesn't melt. They've always got food. I can't even go outside and play with them because it's too cold for me to be outside. So I am legitimately trapped in this house. By the way, that this winter, whatever it is that we have, it's always once a year for Midwestern states at least, and I'm sure people who don't live in the Midwest, you have your own, you know, maybe your winter's more or less chaotic. But yeah, it's going to persist all the way through this entire COVID thing that I'm going through. So I'm truly stuck inside. Funny enough, I should do a video about the knife or the knives that I carried the most over COVID. For whatever reason, the last 3 days, I've carried this guy around the house. The Strider 3/4 AR, and I'm in sweatpants right now. This knife is huge. This is the knife you guys watched me mash into a banana sideways on Instagram the other day. Yeah, I just I've been carrying it and enjoyed using it. And it's way too heavy and bulky for sweatpants, but I've just said, you know, F it. I'm just going to carry it anyway. So maybe I should do a video on my weird carry choices throughout the entire COVID situation. I don't know. I kind of knew this was going to be a shorter episode of The Knife Guy. I just felt like informing you guys. Again, there's no reason to worry, no cause for concern. I'm not worried. You shouldn't be either. But also, keep your political opinions to yourself. This is not a political channel. The channel is about knives. I still felt it important to let you guys know what was going on and that I'm taking the appropriate precautions when it comes to your guys' stuff that's here with me. Yeah, I think everything will just be fine sometime around mid to late next week. And you guys won't notice any hiccup at all in the regular flow of contents. If I'm feeling up to it, if things don't go, you know, if I don't start like, and hacking and feeling really tired, then Saturday night, which will have been last night for you guys, there will have been a live stream. But, you know, if I'm just not feeling it, you know, then no live stream this weekend, and that's fine. We'll do another one next weekend. Truthfully, I planned to give away the Spyderco PM2 Tanto this weekend, but I didn't want to make a promise and not be able to keep it because I generally do the giveaways on live streams. I didn't want to, you know, not be able to do it. So that will probably be next weekend. Should we flip everything? That was the Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon. Of course, the legendary Ontario Rat number 1. Ontario Rat number 2. Not that you guys need to see this because you see it every day on my channel. Spyderco PM2. Spyderco Para 3. RSK MK1 G2, aka the Benchmade Griptilian, but made by Doug Ritter and Hogue. Benchmade Mini Griptilian. Strider 3/4 AR. Love this thing. And last but not least, the brand new Hinderer XM24 Knife Center exclusive Harpoon Spanto in my Monkey Edge exclusive frag pattern forest green G10 scale. Guys, that is going to be pretty much it for this episode of The Knife Guy. If you were if you were at least mildly entertained by this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.